Hey everyone, Rebecca here from the Groundwork Collective. Welcome back. Last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I was talking about kind of the overarching frame of the Groundwork Collective, kind of what we're doing, where it came from. But today I wanted to dive a little bit into the moment that we are in. And as we approach the end of 2025, it has been quite the year, just the craziest year I have definitely experienced, especially in my professional life. It's been really nuts for all of us international development peace builder people out there. But even just more broadly, I've really been thinking a lot about why it feels so dang difficult, like almost impossibly difficult to embrace some of just the most basic forms of groundedness and centeredness in our lives. Why does it feel so hard just to be able to fully relax, to carve out time to move our bodies, to be with the people we love, to be present in what we're doing, and most importantly, to allow ourselves the intentionality in the space to really create the lives that we know that we can and we want to lead. And the more I've been thinking about this and reading and listening to other thinkers and having conversations, you know, I've really come to the realization that we are living in a time that's just between two different frameworks, right? We're in this in between stage. The old frameworks in which we used to live, just as cultures and society, those are going away if they're not gone for the most part already. And the new ones have yet to be born. So we're in this in between space. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about, what that feels like, why it matters, and most importantly, like what we can do about it. And so when I say framework, what I really mean is that throughout all of human history, people have had consistent ways of living. We had religious structures, community structures, cultural traditions that were such a deep part of what it meant to be human. They were far from perfect, but they provided an important context, provided answers to some of the questions like, what matters to us? How should I live? What's my relationship to other people? What's the relationship to the world? And the world to them usually was like a 50-mile radius, right? Like not the whole globe, which we are dealing with now. What's my connection to something larger than ourselves? And in this incredibly heated political and cultural moment, everything is moving so quickly. The pace of technological change is like really beyond belief. But then at the same time, all of those ways that we understood the world and all the frameworks are melting away. And it's not to say that so much of that progress hasn't been important. It is like 12 degrees outside right now in the Midwest, and I'm really happy that I have central heat. Um, So obviously, like there's so many things to be grateful for, but we also have to realize that with this material progress, particularly within like the last 10 to 15 years, we've lost something in exchange for that. We have so much information now, and like I said, almost no context in which to process it. So on like a daily level on just how we experience that, we wake up, most of us check our phone. I'm really working on that, but within that 5-10 minutes that you're on your phone, you are receiving and trying to process more information that someone in the 18th century, the 19th century would get in a week, a month, or even maybe a year. So much information, and we just don't have the ways to process it. So we need to ask ourselves, like, what do we do with all of this? How can we start to find a different way to work? What does it all mean? What do I take in? What do I let go? Because you can't possibly have it all, right? So these old frameworks, these tight-knit communities, these cultural traditions, they are they are going, they're dying. It's almost like we need the death doula for this old age and the strength to figure out what's next. In this in between stage, it is disorienting. It can be so destabilizing. And I think what I've also realized is that it creates kind of this like constant low level anxiety that unfortunately we've all just kind of become accustomed to. But it's creating so many problems, either right now immediately or things that will catch up with us in the future. And it's just not a way to live. It's just not. So here's what I also want you to hear, and what I'm also telling myself, because sometimes it's hard to remember that in this in between space, there's also this incredible opportunity. And what I'm trying to put like words around it because I feel it. I know that there's something that is like trying to come out, trying to be birthed, and we have to know what it is, name it, and then work towards it. So in the Groundwork Collective, in my own thinking, I'm calling it this like spiritual ecosystem that we're creating. There's many other names you could use, but and it's your personal ecosystem, the way that you kind of derive meaning, build your days, create a meaningful life for you personally, but also for the collective. And I think that there's this incredible opportunity that we have. And it has to be something that works for us now. We can and we should draw upon the wisdom traditions to build it, but it has to be for us in this moment with what we're dealing with. And we have to be intentional. We have to create like these sacred boundaries around our minds, around our time, around the way that we show up in the world. Because if we're just letting go, right? And it's really nice to like, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm going to just allow what comes to come. But in this reality that we're living in, we are just going to be completely overwhelmed by all the noise, with all the information, with all the updates, just constantly being pulled out of the present moment and getting distracted from what is important. So, this is where I'm like really grounding down into the collective, right? Somehow, all of these things that were again part of these old frameworks, we're losing the ability to live in what it is to be human. So it's kind of crazy, but we need to rebuild it. And we need to rebuild it in a way that works for us now. So I want to be honest though too about how uncertain it all feels, right? It all feels like we can't imagine what the future is right now for humanity. It's easy to feel very dystopian. We can, at least we're feeling very uncertain about what it is. We can go through a whole laundry list of issues that we have that are scary and feel out of our control. But I've been coming back to what I do know. Like, I just know this in my heart is that whatever the future holds, it is going to need critical thinkers. It is going to need people that know how to relate to themselves and know how to relate to others. It is going to need bridge builders. It is going to need people that work with the earth, that have a relationship to this ground. It is going to need wisdom. It is going to need people that are calm. It's going to need decision makers that come from a place of presence and clarity and not fear and reactivity. So the future needs people with this groundwork. It's not easy. It's not immediate, but we have enough of easy and immediate in our world right now. We need people with conviction, grit, and passion to actually make a change. And it's not really an abstract future. It is like this year we need this. It is this month. It is like tomorrow. Like we need this. Our families need it. Our organizations need it. Our communities need it. We need to be able to hold the complexity of what's coming without collapsing. We need to be able to navigate uncertainty and not panic. And we need to be able to sustain this engagement over time. And so the highest aspiration of the Groundwork Collective, it's really not personal wellness. It's not about helping us feel less stressed. I mean, it is, because that is like fundamental. That matters. Like, we actually have to have a sense of presence and calm. But the highest aspiration is taking that and not going to get massages or bubble baths all the time, but actually filtering it into our leadership capacity, our own ability to make a difference in our communities and in our countries and in the world. Because as much as we would like to think others are going to do it, they're not. It's us. And the lucky thing is we can do it. We can be those people if we put our minds to it. So I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad that there are people out there that understand that it's really this movement from what was old to what is new. Moving from it's just all about me and what I can do to something that's bigger with the collective. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please sign up. There's a lot more offerings that are going to be coming out in 2026, and we're going to need it. So thank you all for being here. Remember, the in-between times are hard, but we can get through it and birth something really beautiful together. See you next time.